All right, you guys, welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. It is your boy, Terry, man. This episode right here is going to be entitled, Here's to You. Here's to You. So I want you guys just to hang tight with me. I know the title sounds kind of crazy, but hang tight with me, all right?
Welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. This podcast was designed to let you know that you aren't the only one that took forever to get it together. So the rabbit hole that you have stumbled down will hopefully help you understand that just when you think it's over, it's only the beginning. Just because you were dealt a bad hand doesn't mean you have to keep it. Welcome to the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.
And welcome back to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. Again, it is your boy, Terry. I haven't done an episode since last week because of work schedule and other commitments and things of that nature. Excuse me. So I wanted to kickstart this week with a new episode. I want to say, I want everyone that's listening to this to wish my little man, my prince, Terry Jr. He'll be 7 years old on this coming Saturday. I had him this weekend because his mother will have him next weekend. So me and my roommate, Nick, we celebrated his birthday, bought a little cake, put a little 7 on it, even though he won't blow the candle. He didn't blow the candle out or anything, but we still celebrated his birthday. I bought him a whole bunch of crap he didn't need. Bought him like 3 pairs of shoes. So it was a pretty good weekend I had with him. And, you know, I tell you, dropping off my son to his mother, every time I do it, it gets easier, but it gets harder at the same time. Last night I dropped him off with his mom and he cried. I think that was the first time that he cries, you know, since the situation was this way. And this was the first time that he cried during drop off. It was hard, you know, to get him out of the car, give his mother his stuff and take the car seat out. And now mind you, we had been on the road all day. My brother, my little man and I was just riding around all day long. And he pointed back at the car and he was like, you know, he didn't, you know, of course he hadn't said it. He's nonverbal. He looked at it, but he's nonverbal speaking, but he's very verbal with his nonverbal skills. He pointed at the car and he looked at me and was like, you know, so that was hard, you know, but this is for, you know, shout out to you, little man. I love you. If you ever get to hear this down the road, Daddy loves you. And, you know, I'm sorry that this situation is what it is, but I'm here for you. All right. So getting into the subject of the podcast here is Here's to You. And the reason why this is, and I titled it Here's to You, is because, you know, at some point, we have to get to the place of absolution. And, you know, I've been following a lot of people on TikTok that gives positive quotes and all of that. And there was a young man that said that put something on, and I'm going to try to find it while I'm talking to you guys, but he has amazing quotes. And sometimes I'll pull him up just to, especially when I'm down about something, I'm in my feelings about something, he'll always say something. Or I run across one of his TikToks that make everything make sense.
Lesson.
Let's see if I can pull one up.
And every lesson
Hold on.
changes a person.
I got one.
Every pain gives the lesson. And every lesson changes a person.
When did I become so?
You guys may not be able to hear that. Oh, and you may not be able to hear that. Anyway, this guy is absolutely amazing. And one of the TikToks that he put together that I ran up on, and it said, sometimes you have to delete the number. And when I listened to that TikTok, I was like, delete the number. Sometimes we have to delete the number because we still hold on to people. And we're holding on to people. the holding on is what stunts your growth. And I was guilty of that, even though legally I can't delete the number because we have a child together. But I have to delete the number. And this is for everybody who's listening too. If you have someone in your life where their circumstances have ran out, the old clock is ticked, the clock is over, it's gone, it's over, right? And we're wondering why. We're still in that place of wondering why it happened, or wondering what you could have done to make it better. There's no, it's over, right? My message to you is to delete the number and let's move on. This is for me too. This is just not for everyone. This is not for everybody. I'm not talking to everybody else. I'm talking to me and everybody else. Is that we have to get to a place to where we have to delete the number. I know that it's hard to imagine deleting the number. For me, you guys, a decade with someone, sacrificed, did everything under my power, did everything, raised 2 kids that weren't mine, sacrificed everything. And now I'm at a place where I have to delete the number. But the reason why this podcast episode is titled Here's to You, because this is dedicated to my ex. If somebody you love, listens to this podcast, I'm going to say this right here to you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. And everybody who's listening, I want you to send this to your ex. Thank you. Thank you for destroying me, because in destroying me, I found me. Excuse me. Let me repeat that. In your destroying me, or the attempt to destroy me, I found me. You noticed that after you break up with somebody, after the situation is dissipated, after everything is dust is settled, now that you found yourself moving forward, being better than what you were. That's the whole point, right? So in you attempting or trying to destroy me, I found me personally. This is Terry. This is me talking. I went through, now, if anybody has been following this podcast for any length of time, I was in a dark place. If any of my coworkers listen, they know. I went through a dark place to where I couldn't see nothing. Only thing I felt was the hurt. Only thing I felt was the pain. Only thing I felt was that dark place. But I had to eventually, through therapy, through support, through all that, I had to finally realize that the person that was in that dark place is no longer exist, because I found me. I found what I'm not going to take. I found what makes me happy. I'm still getting there. I'm not at the final boss stage of life, right? But I am nowhere near where I was in that dark place. I am hurt, but no more. And we have to get to a place where we are okay. And we can say, no more. Here's to you. I will thank you, like I said before, but I will never tell someone that I ever regret meeting you. I won't ever say, boy, I wish I wouldn't have met her ever. Because that's a lie. Because at some point or another, at some point in this life, she was just what I needed. I was just what she needed in the time that it happened. Right? We grew together. I want somebody to catch this. We grew together, even though we grew apart. That's hard to say, y'all. I'm just going to say that. That was hard. That's hard to say. We grew together. We really did. I mean, there was an aspect of my life to where I was like, and then we got together and then we grew together. There's certain aspects of this life that I just don't do because of me and her. We also grew apart. So, but then I say thank you. Because I would not be the man sitting behind this mic if I hadn't. Sometimes we have to tell people, thank you, and delete the number. It's hard. It's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. Me, it's a little bit different because I have kids, or I kid them. But in all other aspects, I have to unplug. Anything outside of my son is irrelevant to me when it comes to her. It's hard though. It's hard to it's hard to imagine her personal life, without me in it. I mean, we've been together like I said, a decade. I watched them kids grow up. They're teenagers now. My son will be 7 on his birthday. But to grow on, and it's hard, man. It's tough out here to not wonder what's going on, to not lend a helping hand, and I try to do what I can, right? But at the same time, I can't cut off my air to, it's just like when they say, when you're on an airplane, in the event of an accident, in the case of an accident, recover your own mask and then help somebody else. That's kind of what this is, I can't save her, and kill me in the process. I can't do that. This is a decision that she made. I can't. But when it comes to my boy, though, I do what I can. I do everything that I can. But I had to delete the number, and I have to move on, and I have to say, thank you. I'm not mad. I mean, I used to be mad. I think part of me is still mad, but it's like, okay, but it's anger that I can deal with. I can kind of compartmentalize and move on. But thank you. I'm sure somebody listening to this that's attached to my ex still. Tell her I said thank you. I don't regret it. I don't regret nothing. I don't regret 1 minute. But now I'm the man I am because of it. Some people just have to, I can't do this anymore. And in the moment that we are okay with letting go, life gets better. At the moment that we say, let me delete this number, let me stop worrying about him or her, what they're doing, who they're with. So I used to do all that. I used to be like, I know she's with somebody else, man. I don't care now. Excuse me. Now, I don't care. Do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Your blessing passed you by. You threw your blessing away. And some people do that. Some people throw away their blessings and be like, you did this. I was so, you so hurt me so bad. You had 10 kids on me. No, I didn't, knowing that didn't happen. But here's to you, ex. I appreciate you. I do not regret you. But I have to delete your number. And it's a wrap. Finally. That's what I should name this podcast. Finally. It took me a minute. You almost had me. You almost had me. But I appreciate where I am in my life. I recognize that if I had not gone through the debacle that was, I would not be here. If I had not gone through the debacle, I would not have learned the lesson that I needed to learn. So I cannot be mad at you about that. The only thing that I can do is thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for trying to wreck my life. And it didn't work. This is for everybody who's listening. If you got an ex, send them this. Thank you for trying to wreck my life. Thank you for trying to destroy me. But what you've done now, though, is created a monster. I remember laying across my bed after we first broke up, and the transition between being married to not being married and sleeping in the same bed with my wife. During that transition, how hard it was, how dark it was, how I had intrusive thoughts, how I almost ended my life behind it. And now I'm sitting back a few months later, not completely healed, but Lord knows not where I was. And I'm going, really? I was going to do that? I was going to take my life behind someone who didn't give a damn about mine? Seriously? I was going to do that. And I understand, everybody who's listening who's been through a heartache, it hurts now. But when you look at it 20, months later, years later, and then you be like, come on, this is what it came to? Anyway, everyone who's listening, delete the number. Delete it. Go ahead. Go into your contact. Go ahead and delete it. Because we have to. Not because we want to. There's nothing about this breakup that we want to do. We have to. Because we can't move forward trying to hold on to the past. That's elementary. We all know that. Some of us do. I love you guys. Everybody who's listening. But we have to move on together. We have to delete the number together. Don't regret that, man. Don't regret that woman. Did she piss you off? Yes. Did she hurt you? Yes. Did he hurt you? Yes. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But they made you who you are. Some of you guys, after the breakup, are now content creators. Some of you guys are now book writers, authors. Some of you guys are now motivational speakers after the breakup. But in order for you to get to those things after, you have to delete the number. You have to finally cut these folks loose and be like, you know what? I can't do this with you no more. You are not what I thought. I don't regret you. Thank you. But we have to move on. We have to. You guys, last time, delete the number. All right? You guys, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you coming through. And let's do another episode. You can find this podcast on knuckleheadchronicles.podbean.com. You guys come through, subscribe, follow. That way you will not miss an episode. Until next time, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week. Be blessed. Delete the number if you have to. All right? Be on the lookout for the video panel coming through on Sundays live on YouTube. That'll be coming around the corner real soon. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. I hope I didn't fry your brain too bad. Come back through and give me another chance. You can listen on all platforms and visit us at knuckleheadchroniclespodcast.podbean.com. Until next time, in the words of the incomparable Jerry Springer, take care of yourself and each other.